Welcome into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, as always, presented by Heidemann & Associates. I'm Alex Napolis, that's Carson Lance, and we're here at America First Field. And look, my heart, it's sad, but it's excited. It's the final game of the 2024 boys soccer season, the 6A state championship between the Farmington Phoenix and the American Fork Cavemen. Carson, how you doing, man? Talk to me.
I'm doing great. This has been a wonderful day of soccer, plenty of great games, and I'm very excited to watch this matchup between American Fork and Farmington. How are you doing, Alex?
Again, it's bittersweet. It is the final game of the season, but it should be one of the most exciting. It's the 6A championship with the Phoenix taking on the Cavemen. In the white, shooting to the left of your screen here in the first half will be American Fork. In the dark black and green will be the Farmington Phoenix, shooting to the right of your screen. Ball's at the center. We're getting ready to roll as both of these teams meeting for the final instructions as we get ready to get the ball rolling here at America First Field. Moments away from crowning, or beginning, and finding out who will be crowned as the 6A state champion. Chase Ashby heads to the center circle as Farmington will get us started here. The final preparations now in motion. The official looks at his watch. We wait for the whistle. And we are underway as the 6A championship game gets rolling. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the next 80 minutes of the beautiful game. That ball rolls out of bounds and out. It'll be a throw-in coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix with Austin Judd in possession. Judd throws it into Janke. Janke brings it down, poked away. There comes Cheney as that ball goes out of bounds and out. Throw-in coming up again for Farmington. Looking to take it quickly, but Cheney will take his time now. Ashby. Now it's Judd. Judd goes to Jensen. And now ball given away. Here comes Connect. Connect turning on the burners as Lewis Connect hitting on a quick counter. Nice step there by McIntosh to deny Lewis Connect from breaking through. Ball over the top and headed away. Tracked down by Josh Foster. Ball out wide. That's Ben Wright. We'll get it back to Foster, and now here comes the Farmington Phoenix.
Yeah, some things I'm looking at for Farmington today, Alex, is Josh Foster and Ben Wright, the wingers for Farmington. I really want them to exploit those outside backs on American Fork. You know, the outside backs like to get up really high. Sometimes they get caught out of position, and Ben Wright and Josh Foster have speed and can finish. And that's what I'm looking for Farmington to take over this game.
Jensen wins it back. Ball poked away. Hall goes down. Larson now in possession. Dimitri Larson now taking it up the pitch. Tries to cut inside and does. Ball poked through, looking for Osborne. Nice step there by the Phoenix defense. Now ball booted over the top. Nice step there from Nedesheim as American Fork back in possession. And Carson, what are we looking for in the Cavemen this afternoon to try to get that win?
Give the ball to Lewis Connect and let him work his magic. You know, he has plenty of goals and assists this season, and when he has the ball at his feet, the American Fork Cavemen look like a better team. And also, I want to look at the midfield trio of Ben Harley, Miller Hall, and Dimitri Larson. They need to control that midfield and shut down the Phoenix.
Free kick off the offside, and now we'll have the ball back into play. Hall will settle it for Nedesheim. Nedesheim will boot this one up. Coming across to defend is Jensen, now that ball, a free kick taken quickly with Lewis Connect. Connect taking it from distance. Not too far off there.
Yeah, Connect getting started early here in this game with a ripper of a shot that barely missed the goal.
Jackson Bynan will boot this one away for the Farmington Phoenix. Good start here for both sides. Hall will try to win it back in the middle of the park. Ball brought down. Nedesheim misses it. Here comes Ben Wright, and what a stop there from Barreda off his line and takes it away. Barreda's down after the collision, and we'll have a stoppage in play here as Ben Wright and Barreda collide with the clearance. And immediately the training staff on the pitch to take a look at Ben Wright, who still has not. We hope Ben's all right as he takes a seat over on that trainer table on the far side. He'll have to come off, and obviously we hope he's okay, but the reality is Ben Wright is a big loss here for this Farmington side.
Yeah, had a crucial goal in that semifinal game. And early in this game takes a huge hit, and that's unfortunate for him to have to go off. Hopefully he's okay.
Ball won back nicely by Hellquist as we resume play here at America First Field. Ball quickly won back by the Cavemen. Here comes the shot from distance from Harley that goes wide, and another long distance shot from from American Fork here.
Yeah, a little good look right there by Ben Harley, getting involved early from the midfield and trying to get a goal.
Ball out to Judd. Judd will play it across to Toby Grant. And now that ball will go all the way over to Cade McIntosh. Up the sideline now is going to be Hellquist. Hellquist will boot this one up. Ashby settles it to Foster. Foster now goes out wide to Janke. Janke up the sideline. Janke now cuts inside, crosses it in. Nicely defended there by the Cavemen as that ball's cleared and poked away. Giving chase here is Judd. Judd wins it back. Judd gets it up against Sanchez. Here comes Janke. Janke now pokes inside. Ball will come out to Mac Jensen. Jensen missing that ball, and now a whistle as a foul is called. A late foul, but a foul nonetheless.
Something I would like to point out real quick is Toby Grant, the midfielder who stood out to us a lot last game for his contribution at playing center back after his teammate got a red card, is now starting at center back.
That's Luke Haven, unavailable for selection at the moment for the Phoenix. Ball booted away. Janke gets a foot on it. Ashby tries to bring it down. Ashby giving chase, and that ball goes out of bounds and out for a Cavemen throw. Chase Ashby heading over. Thought he was fouled, and now Ashby wins it back. Ashby leaves it for Foster. Foster takes a nice touch around Hall. Now ball coming all the way back to Nedesheim. Ball booted up by the Cavemen. Here comes Larson as he tries to win it back, and does. Sanchez brings it down. Leaves it for Larson. Larson pokes it through to Harley. Harley now turns. Harley taking it up. Harley leaves it for Larson. Larson now cuts outside and supports himself back with Thomas. Ball comes up to Larson. Larson has a chance here to cross it in. Nicely defended there by Hellquist as he comes across and makes the tackle.
Yeah, nice little run right there by Larson, trying to get involved in this game.
Ball comes in, whipped in, back post, and just slides by Bynen's goal. Take a look at these two sides coming into this one. It is the number one in the RPI, the Farmington Phoenix, who come into this one at 16-1 overall, finished 9-1 in Region 1 play, Region Championship up there in Davis County. 37 goals scored, 11 goals against on the year. An early loss, and their only loss comes to a Leighton Lancers, where they lost 4-3 in the penalty shootout. That ball played over the top. Giving chase here is Jensen as that one goes out of bounds and out. They have been unbeaten since late March, coming into this one with a 12-game win streak. Obviously, the number one in the RPI gets the first round bye. They got a quarterfinal win against Skyridge, 2-0. And in the semifinals, they were able to take down the Pleasant Grove Vikings 4-2 in the penalty shootout here, with a free kick now for Farmington.
Yeah, that was a great game between the Vikings and the Cavemen. Battled it out till the very end. Barrera coming up clutching penalties.
That ball coming through, looking back post. And that ball will go out of bounds and out. Goal kick for the American Fork Cavemen. They come into this one at 15-2 overall, 8-2 in Region 3. Finished at the top of the region, tied with Lone Peak for shared region title. Number 2 in the RPI, 59 goals scored, 27 goals against. And what a turnaround it has been for the American Fork Cavemen. Last season, they finished 8-7 overall. Ended up losing in the second round against the Davis Stars. The shot from distance from Ashby that safely goes into the hands of Barreda. And look, after finishing 8-9 last season, they have bounced back and are having a tremendous year, led by Lewis Connect. And now here they are fighting for a championship title. The last time this American Fork boys side won a title was back in 1984. They have 2 championships to their name, both back in 1983 and 1984. So it's been a while since the Cavemen have been able to hold up this 6A trophy. And now here they are with a chance to do so. Farmington in possession off the free kick. Nestle one back by Connect. Connect up the sideline. Connect using his speed to get around. Brought down by Janke, and now a foul called. And a free kick for American Fork. Connect and discomfort after the challenge from Janke. Lewis Connect back now on his feet. Free kick here for American Fork, taken by Ben Hess for Mason Jolly. Jolly will look to play it in towards the middle. One back by American Fork, but only momentarily, as Nettesheim will go all the way back to Barreda. And Barreda will boot this one away. Larson. Losing out possession here is Dimitri Larson. That ball goes out of bounds and out. Thrown on the far side now for the Phoenix. Nettesheim boots this one and gets it away. Miller Hall playing it up to Sanchez. Sanchez cuts inside. Sanchez looking for Osborne. Can't connect as that ball given away back to the Phoenix. And a foul called here on the far side. Thomas comes across, commits the foul. Last year, the Farmington Phoenix made it to the quarterfinals before they lost to the eventual champion Syracuse in a 6-5 penalty shootout. And now here we are a year later, where the Farmington Phoenix are fighting for a chance at their first ever boys soccer state championship. Goes near post, Barrera punches it away. Ashby trying to win it back near the top of the 18. Larson's there, that ball pinging around, still can't clear, poke through, the shot, and it puts it over the bar. Looks like that's Jack Burrup with a good opportunity, and the Phoenix knocking on the door. Ball one back by Farmington. Ball goes out wide to Janke. And that ball will roll out of bounds and out. Throwing coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. 27:45 left to go. All tied up at 0-0. Foster will bring it in. Leaves it for Judd. Judd up to Janke. Janke trying to get around his defender Jolly. And Jolly doing a good job defensively. And Judd will throw it in. Judd taking it quickly up the sideline. Brought down and out once again. Throw in for the Farmington Phoenix. Ball back in play. Jolly comes across again, makes a tackle. The cross comes in. Janke trying to cross it in again. Jolly boots it away. And the ball will be out once more for another Farmington Phoenix throw-in. Up the sideline, Janke. Janke gets a little sombrerito action in there as he pokes it through, but then American Fork doing a good job to win the ball back. Here comes Jensen, who scoops it up in the middle of the park, pokes it out wide to Burrup. Burrup will go out wide to Helquist on the other side. Now it's Ashby. Ashby lets it roll up the sideline. Trying to cross it in, takes a deflection. Ashby goes down and a foul called.
Yeah, nice little skill move right there from Ashby to turn and then also produce the Meg. And eventually getting fouled. And Farmington have a dangerous free kick right here early in this first half.
Free kick here for the Farmington Phoenix. Grant will whip it in, goes near post. Barrera punches it out, lands at Janke, but a foul called. A whistle as Barrera goes to ground. And so we'll have a free kick coming up here for American Fork.
Yeah, Barrera is going to be very crucial for the American Fork Cavemen in this game.
Here on the near side, going up, Connect, finds Harley. Nicely done by Josh Foster to make a challenge. Ball goes out of bounds and out. American Fork now will throw it in with Mason Jolly. Jolly cuts back. Nicely done there by Mason Jolly. Ball goes up now to Osborne. Osborne looking back for Jolly. Lets it ride for Connect. Connect on the sideline. Goes back to Hall. Hall looking to poke one back through to Connect. And Farmington win the ball back. Harley gets a header on it. Now it's American Fork possession as Dimitri Larson will play it out wide to Sanchez. Sanchez trying to turn on Helquist. Cuts inside. Here comes Sanchez who leaves it for Larson. Larson now with time, with space, looks to float one in, going back towards Connect, cut out by Toby Grant. Now it's Foster. Foster turns, leaves it for Helquist. Helquist pokes it up, out wide to Burrup, and a foul called. Free kick coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. Taken quickly over here to the near side for Janke. Janke will play it all the way back to Grant. Grant turns, spins, plays it across to McIntosh. McIntosh now takes it up, finds Foster. Foster will go back to Mac Jensen. Jensen plays it to Cheney. Cheney will play it out to Janke. Janke now looking to get around Jolly, and Mason Jolly coming up with a nice defensive effort there. Janke. Cheney will try to give it back to Janke, but it's going to be Miller Hall. Miller Hall now goes to ground, and a foul called. Free kick coming up here for the American Fork Cavemen. Players to watch for both sides. It'll be Foster for the Farmington Phoenix, who has 9 goals, 3 assists. Cheney, who has 5 goals, 1 assist. And Cole Janke with 3 goals and 5 assists on the year. Looking at players to watch for the American Fork Cavemen, it's going to be number 7, the man who has led them this far, Lewis Connect, 20 goals, 17 assists on the year. Preston Osborne, who has 13 goals, 2 assists. And Ben Harley with 5 goals and 12 assists on the year for American Fork. Now here comes Lewis. Lewis Connect. Cuts back, looking for support. Tries to leave it for Harley. One back by American Fork. Harley. Now it's Connect. Connect goes to ground, and Connect draws the whistle. Foul called, and a free kick coming up here for for American Fork. Taken quickly out to Sanchez. Sanchez now into the box. Sanchez cuts outside. Sanchez taking it in. And that ball will go out of bounds now as it takes a deflection off of Nathan Sanchez for the goal kick. Toby Grant boots this one away. Chase Ashby brings it down. Ashby up the sideline. Jack Burrup running off of it. Burrup now against Thomas. And Ethan Thomas doing a great job there defensively. Corner kick coming up for American Fork.
Yeah, great defending right there by Ethan Thomas to force the ball out of play, and he conceded a corner though, and Farmington could take advantage of this.
Over on the far side, it'll be Jackson Cheney. Everybody lined up at the back post. One arm in the air. Will cross it in, goes near post. Floated in front, takes the deflection, and Bareda off his line to collect. Ball booted away by the American Fork Cavemen. One back quickly by American Fork. Now here comes across to Ben Hess. Hess will play it to near side to Jolly. Jolly looking up the sideline for Harley running off of it, but that ball will be won back momentarily by Farmington as it goes out of bounds and out. Cavemen throw here on the near side. Jolly to throw. Jolly plays it into Osborne. Poked away, lands at Larson. Larson using his physicality to shield it off. Larson battling it out. Now American Fork in possession with Larson. Larson goes out wide, cut off by Hellquist. Miller Hall is there, tries to bring it down. Foster doing a good job. And now Nedesheim gets this one out to Ethan Thomas. Thomas with a heavy touch, lets it roll to Connect. Connect, who switched over to the far side. And the ball given away. Here comes momentarily Farmington. Now Janke cuts it out. Janke against Harley. Janke takes it to the sideline. And Ben Harley pokes it away. Throw-in coming up here for the Phoenix.
Yeah, Ben Harley just showing a little frustration right there as he thought it was the American Fork Cavemen's ball.
And we have a high kick here with a stoppage and play. Dangerous from Ben Harley. And I believe that's Jackson Cheney who took the boot. And good to see Jackson Cheney back on his feet.
Yeah, not a good look for the Cavemen early in this game. Fouling multiple times and giving Farmington another chance to lob a ball into the box.
It'll be Toby Grant and Austin Judd standing over it to take here on the free kick. Judd takes it quickly to Grant. Grant now will float one in. Larson is there. Boots it away, only to find Judd. Judd can play it back in and does. Foster now into the box. Foster cuts it back. Nicely defended there by Nedesheim. Or excuse me, that was Miller Hall with the challenge. And now that ball goes out of bounds and out for the Farmington throw-in. It's Toby Grant. Grant goes across to McIntosh. McIntosh will play it centrally to Jensen. Jensen at the middle of the park. Jensen tries to rip it from distance. Nicely defended there by Miller Hall as Miller Hall now in possession. Hall will bring it up for the Cavemen. Ball played out wide to Osborne. Toby Grant doing a great job defensively. Ashby now running off of it, but the offside flag raised on the far side. It will not count. Ball floated over the top. Burrup. As Burrup can't get the turn on it. Ball poked away, goes out of bounds and out once more. Throw-in for the Phoenix. Substitution getting ready to come on for Farmington. Good to see number 30 onto the pitch. It's going to be Baron Sandberg who checks in. Ball floated over the top. Toby Grant brings it down. Jensen will play it over here to the near side to Judd. Judd goes up the sideline to Janke. Janke will now play it back into Jensen. Farmington here in possession. Janke plays it back to Judd. Judd into Foster. Foster carries. Connect trails, defending. Connect comes, makes a tackle, and a foul called. Lewis Connect commits the foul on Foster, and we'll have a free kick for the Phoenix.
It's funny, though, because the referee made a ball signal, and American Fork Cavemen are pretty upset that they didn't get their ball.
17-11 left to go here in the first half. All knotted up at 0-0. Good opportunity here for Farmington to try to find something off the free kick. Toby Grant will float one in. Sebastian Barreda spills, and then Barreda collects. Played out quickly to Sanchez. Cavemen trying to counter. Nathan Sanchez over on the far side. Cuts inside. Tries to get back out to his right. Now plays it into Harley. Harley takes a heavy touch, keeps possession. Harley trying to get around McIntosh. Harley plays one through to connect. Nicely done there by Colt Janke to come across and poke that one away. Corner kick coming up here for the American Fork Cavemen. Connect. A short option. Harley will whip it in. Near post, headed away. Larson at the top of the 18, takes a shot and puts it into the back of the net. Dimitri Larson with the shot off the corner, and the Cavemen take a lead.
Number 13, Dimitri Larson, pinning his team on his back here in the first half, getting a goal from the midfield. This game is 1-0.
Dimitri Larson with the shot off the corner. The number 2 in the RPI lead. Nicely done there by American Fork. Larson does a good job to keep the corner in the attacking third, and then he finishes it off, puts it into the back of the net, past Jackson Bynum, and Farmington now. How will they respond?
Yeah, it's just a simple pass into the goal past Jackson Bynum. And just as I said, I was looking for that midfield trio of Miller, Hall, and Ben Harley, and Dimitri Jackson, and they're so far been controlling that midfield, and Dimitri Jackson has now got himself a goal.
Sandberg brings it down, can't connect with Judd, and that ball goes out of bounds and out. Thrown coming up here for American Fork. Ball given away by the Phoenix. 15:30 left to go here in the first. Cavemen lead it, and now ball played across to Miller Hall. Hall goes to Nettisheim, and Judd wins it back. Judd now out to Janke. Janke trying to get around Mason Jolly, but Jolly doing a great job defensively there. Janke now settles it. Janke, as Miller Hall comes across, pokes it away.
Yeah, I feel like Farmington need to get back into this one, and ever since Ben Wright went out with an injury, the tempo has slowed down, and they haven't really had any creativity into the attack.
Jensen plays it up to Sandberg. Sandberg into Ashby. Ashby with the heavy touch is able to keep possession. Ashby now with time, with space, carries, plays it out wide. Here come the Farmington Phoenix. Ball crossed in. Barreda has to punch it away as Cole Janke with a shot from distance.
Yeah, great effort by Cole Janke right there to try and find that upper corner. He does, but Barreda comes up with another clutch save.
Corner kick coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. Jack Burrup will head over. No, he'll leave it for Janke. Cole Janke will now head over to the far sideline to take. Janke sets the ball down. Everybody lined up at the back post. Janke will float one in. Goes back post. Takes a header. Can't be redirected on frame. And out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Substitutions getting ready for the American Fork Cavemen. That ball will go now for the goal kick. Looks like that's going to be Jaden Brown checking in for American Fork. Now Harley wins it back in the middle of the park. Harley will play it back. Plays it to Nettesheim. Nettesheim to Miller Hall. Hall now goes out to Brown. Brown gets his first touches since checking in. Up wide to Connect. Connect against McIntosh. Cuts back. Cuts outside. Here comes Connect. Crosses it in. Brown brings it in. Brown with an opportunity. Takes a shot. Deflected off of Jensen. Still Brown with the attack. Now it's Hall. Hall doesn't get the best connections on the ball, and it goes wide.
And Lewis Connect doing what he does. Getting the ball out of his feet, taking on the defender, and then sooner or later finding Jaden Brown. Jaden Brown tried to find the shot, but he got deflected, and Farmington had themselves a goal kick now.
Bynum will play it out. Now it's Grant. Grant will play it up to Foster. Foster settles it for Jensen. Jensen goes out wide. Now looking to play it over the top in the direction of Peterson. That ball goes out of bounds and out. Goal kick coming up here for the American Fork Cavemen. Good start here for the Cavemen. They lead it 1-0. Carson, what have you seen from American Fork here in this first half?
American Fork are just dominating right now. Really, like Farmington came out explosive, and ever since Ben Wright went down, as I just said, seems to have slowed down, and that kind of injury has kind of just lowered their tempo. And American Fork are controlling the midfield right now. Lewis Connect is doing his thing, and overall, they're having a great team performance.
Bynum now boots this one away with the pressure from Ben Harley. Connects, gets a foot on it, wins it out. That ball booted away by Foster, and it'll land at the feet of Sebastian Barreda. Barreda picks it up and will boot it away. Harley tried to flick it on. Instead, he'll go back towards the middle, and we'll play it all the way back to Ben Hess. Hess plays it across to Nettesheim. Nettesheim back to Harley. Harley in the middle of the park with time and space. Lewis Connect. Cuts back. Takes it up now as Connect towards the sideline. Connect. Shaking off one. Shaking off two. Plays it to Larson. Larson now shakes off a couple of guys as well. Plays it back to Jolly. Jolly looks to cut back. One back by Burrup. Here comes Burrup as he looked to play it through, but nicely done by Miller Hall to clean that up.
Exactly what Farmington need to be looking at trying to do. Winning the ball back quick, and then quickly trying to get off the field and counter and catch those outside backs of American Fork up too high.
It'll be the goal scorer, Dimitri Larson, who will head to the bench for a breather. Checking in will be number 12, Hudson Rios, into the match. Foster heading out for the Farmington Phoenix. Checking in for them will be Jackson Cheney. Brought down by Harley. Harley will go out wide to Brown. Brown has Rios running off of it. Brown cuts it back, and he'll go all the way back to Ben Hess. Hess looking to play it up the sideline. No one there, as Toby Grant will now clean it up for Farmington. Grant comes near side to Sandberg. Sandberg plays it up to Burrup. Burrup back to Sandberg. Sandberg now takes it on up the sideline. Looking to play it into Peterson. Now poke to Cheney. Cheney trying to poke it back to Burrup. And Barreda ends up booting this one away.
Yeah, great defense right there by the Cavemen. Been solid all game.
Free kick and taken quickly by Lewis Connect, who plays it out to Brown. Brown has time, has space. He carries. Closing in is Cole Janke. Nicely done there by Rios. Rios in possession. Miller Hall goes out to Brown. Overlapping run. And he'll keep it back to Hall instead. Hall will now cross it in. In front of goal, Bynum will just cover that one as it goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick. .8:30 left to go here in the first. Number 2, American Fork leads it. 1-0 thanks to that goal from Dimitri Larson off the corner. A good shot from just at the top of the 18. Connect will let this one roll. Out of bounds and out. Throwing coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix as they want to respond, and they'll need a response before they head to the break. Colt Janke now checking off. Checking in will be Josh Foster. Ashby also coming on. He'll check in for Jack Burrup. Chase Ashby, the Farmington hero. Checking back into this one. He's the one who converted the winning penalty against Pleasant Grove in the semifinals. Peterson will settle it to Judd. Judd looks to switch it over to Hellquist. Takes a heavy touch and a foul called. Free kick coming up here for the American Fork Cavemen.
Yeah, good press right there by Jaden Brown just to get him his body in there as the ball's still coming down and get in front of the defender, and eventually he was fouled, and the American Fork Cavemen have the ball back.
Ball booted over the top. Coming over to the near side for Connect. Connect brings it down. Connect trying to get around Peterson and does. Connect taking it now into the box. Connect nicely done by Austin Judd, who makes a huge defensive tackle there on Connect. Now it's Nettesheim. Cavemen still in possession. Nettesheim will go out wide. And now ball booted over the top. Giving chase here is McIntosh, and he'll just let it roll safely into the hands of Jackson Bynum. Grant will boot this one over the top, looking for Ashby. Ashby settles it, brings it down. Now it's Cheney who tries to poke it through. Cut out by the American Fork Cavemen. Sandberg lands at Connect. Connect for Harley. Harley back to Connect. Connect dribbles past one. Trying to play it to Osborne. Still American Fork in possession. Brown now comes up with it. Brown trying to poke it through to Harley. Brown staying on it. Brown winning it back. Into the box. Now out is Brown, who leaves it for Osborne. Osborne now trying to get around his defenders. Toby Grant does a good job to boot this one away.
Yeah, good defense right there by Toby Grant just to get that out and reset the play for American Fork.
Nettesheim will boot this one over the top. Jolly flicks it through with his header. Bynum off his line, and Jackson Bynum collects.
Just looks like Lewis Connect just took a little knock right there and is feeling some discomfort in his rib cage.
As we have a stoppage in play. Lewis Connect down after a collision with Bynum. And we'll have the American Fork training staff having to come on and take a look at Lewis Connect. And the official also heading over here to the near side to have a conversation with his assistant. Make sure nothing was missed. Good to see Connect back on his feet, as Lewis Connect will have to head out. Still conversations happening here on the near side between our center ref and his assistant.
And Farmington fans having a little trauma right now with the last game against the Vikings, where a little collision in the box eventually led to a penalty, but was eventually saved by Binen. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case here.
Led to that red card as well.
You could say that was a game-changing red card, but it really wasn't. Toby Grant felt like it was two guys on the field with him on the field.
And look, to be honest, Farmington was playing down a man for a majority of that semifinal, and for the most part, it didn't seem like they were. They just kept doing what they were doing, and it worked out well.
Yeah, it didn't seem like they were down a man that whole time, and they stepped their game up after going down a man, and they didn't let that faze them.
Binen and the official now will have a conversation as we get ready to get the ball rolling again here at America First Fields. 4:59 left to go in the first half. The Cavemen, who lead it 1-0. Binen gets the ball back in play. Here's McIntosh. McIntosh cuts back, and he'll play it across to Toby Grant. Heavy touch, but Grant is able to get to it. Toby Grant, one out float, one over the top, looking for a running off Ashby. Chase Ashby chasing, goes to the corner, and that ball will be out of bounds and out. Thrown coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. Substitution coming on for the Phoenix as well, as it looks like Cole Jenke ready to come back into this one. Jenke back in. And now here comes the cross back. It'll go to Foster. Foster can now cross it in. Does. Nicely headed away there by Nettesheim. Lands at the feet of Jensen. Jensen will go back to McIntosh. McIntosh with time, with space. He'll carry. He'll play it out wide. Judd brings it down. Judd with the touch. Judd goes back to Toby Grant. Farmington here just in possession. Grant with time. Will play it out to Judd. Judd looking at Jenke. He'll play to Peterson. Peterson flicks it through looking to Jenke. And Nathan Sanchez comes up with a nice interception. It's Ashby now on the ball. Ashby will try from distance and punched away by Varela.
What an effort right there. But even better save by Barrera. Already has a couple good saves in this half and is keeping the American Fork Cavemen in this one as they're still up 1 goal.
Huge save by Barrera. Corner kick coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. 2:50 left. Trying to tie things up before the break. The ball whipped in near post. Booted away by Ben Hess. And we'll have enough throw in as Jackson Cheney tried to play that one in at the near post. Throw in here for the Phoenix. Cheney. Plays it in. Foster trying to bring it down. Foster over the top. Hess is there, and Hess can boot this one away. Brown giving chase. McIntosh comes across. Brown almost able to keep it, but it goes out of bounds and out for another Cavemen throw. Brown goes to ground. Hellquist commits the foul, and we'll have a stoppage in play as a yellow card caution issued to Colson Hellquist after the challenge on Jaden Brown over on the far side. Hellquist coming off. And we'll see if we can get that number of who just checked in. Looks like that will be number 33, Nate Bull, on for the Farmington Phoenix. Free kick coming up here for American Fork. And now another conversation happening over there on the far side between the fourth officials. Looks like we might have an issue with the clock. Checking some timing here on the clock, as we'll have a whole 30 seconds added back on. 1:50 left to go here in the first half. Ball played in. Foster has a chance to clear it away. Nicely done, poked away by American Fork as that ball rolls out of bounds and out for the Farmington Phoenix throw. Jenke pokes one out. Lands at Judd. Judd now takes it up. Judd plays it to Jensen. Jensen back into Jenke. Jenke, nice touch back to Jensen. Out wide to Bull as Nate Bull gets his first touch since checking in. Slid through to Ashby. Rios trying to win it back in the middle of the park. Rios losing possession. Here comes Jenke. Jenke now pokes it through to Ashby. Ashby into the box. Ashby taking a shot. And it goes wide there from Chase Ashby.
Yeah, great play right there by Jenke to find Ashby. Ashby gets himself in the box to get a shot off, but blasts it over instead of finding the frame of the goal, and American Fork will have a goal kick.
Miller Hall plays it back to Hess. Hess comes out wide to Jolly. That's Thomas now. Thomas plays it up to Hall. Hall turns, looking for support. Stolen away by Peterson. And a foul called. Looks like they'll get Peterson on a shirt tug there. And we'll have another stoppage in play here before we can end the first half. Jake Peterson goes into the book, and Peterson will have to come off. 10 seconds left on the clock. Jack Burrup heads back in. And look, if you're the Farmington Phoenix, still plenty of time. Still plenty of time on that clock in that second half. There's no need to get yourself into these situations where you're just conceding these yellow cards.
Yeah, you can definitely see there's some frustration from the Farmington Phoenix right now. They need to cool it down and calm down and focus on the second half that's coming up.
Brought down by Nash. And that'll do it. We've reached the end of the first half, and it's the number 2 American Fork who leads the number 1 Farmington Phoenix thanks to a goal from Dimitri Larson halfway through the first. And that makes the difference so far in this 6A championship game. Carson, talk to me. Let us hear your thoughts and your analysis of that first half.
Yeah, American Fork's just been dominating on and off the ball. Their defense has been solid, but Etta making plenty of saves to keep the ball out of his net. And, you know, Farmington, I feel like they came into this game, they started off pretty hot, and when Ben Wright went down, that kind of slowed down their play, and ever since they haven't been able to pick it up. They've had a couple chances, but they just haven't looked like that Farmington team that we know.
That's going to do it for us here in the first half. Don't go anywhere. Second half action coming up next here on the Rewind Sports Network. Welcome back into the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com, as always, presented by Heidemann and Associates. I'm Alex Napolis, he's Carson Lantz, and we're getting ready to get the ball rolling again on the final half of the 2024 boys soccer season. It's the 6A championship game, and American Fork leads it 1-0. Carson, talk to me. What does Farmington have to do to get back on level terms here?
I don't know. They've kind of struggled in the first half for a little bit there. They just couldn't get a rhythm going in the build-up. They got to have to fix a lot. They're not really connecting well as a team right now. They cannot get past that solid defense of American Fork right now. And they just need to find someone to step up for a big moment and get them back in this game.
Corner kick coming up here for American Fork as Brown was on the attack. And that ball rolls, takes a deflection, goes out of bounds, and now here come the Cavemen with an early corner. It'll be Jaden Brown over on the far side to take. Brown puts his hand up, the cross comes in. Bynum at the near post punches it away. And now ball played back into the mix, takes a deflection. Brown brings it down. Brown plays one in over the top. Bynum off his line, and Jackson Bynum collects well. Bynum here will have a chance to clear out Farmington's lines.
Jaden Brown just kind of forcing the ball into the box right there. Instead of finding a simple option.
Bynum comes across to McIntosh. McIntosh will go to Judd. Look, a couple of changes here for the Farmington Phoenix as Toby Grant no longer on the pitch. Or back up into the midfield. There he is, Toby Grant. Ball given away. Chasing down is the shot from distance as Bynum comes up with another save.
Looks like Alex Gray dropped back into center back for Toby Grant.
Ball poked over the top by Helquist. Helquist trying to bring it down, and now here comes Harley. McIntosh cuts it out. We'll go back to Judd. Austin Judd will play it all the way back to Bynum. Bynum to Judd. Judd will play it out to Nate Bull. Here comes Bull, who will go back across to Judd. Judd brings it down, and now it's Bynum. Farmington here just possession, but in their own defensive third. Not able to get anything past the halfway line yet here in the second half. Quickly one back by American Fork, and then one back by Farmington. Judd again. Got to break the lines here. Can't as Miller Hall pokes it through. Chase Ashby now chasing it down. Ashby wins it. Ashby now carries, taking it towards the sideline. Miller Hall defending. And nicely done there by Miller Hall to shield off Ashby.
Yeah, great defense right there by Miller Hall just to throw off Chase Ashby and to disrupt him, get in his mind, to have him dribble out of bounds.
Ball back in play. Helquist uses his head. Looking up for Janke. Rios brings it down. A collision between two teammates as Rios and Harley collide. Janke trying to win it back. Ben Hess comes across and makes a tackle. Now it's Brown. Brown will boot this one up. Looking in the direction of Connect. Cut out by Foster. Foster brings it down in the middle of the park. Has to go back to Judd. Judd will play it up to Cole Janke. Now it's Judd. Farmington again here just in possession, trying to find the pass that would get them through. Judd to Ashby. Ashby goes back to Toby Grant. Grant plays it out wide to Helquist. Helquist giving chase. Does a good job to keep it in. Can he cross it in? Does. Goes near post. Varela is there. Nothing. Or excuse me, that's Maddox Pay who checks in at the halftime break. And Maddox Pay comes up with his first save of the day. Foster goes to ground. A late flag here as it'll be a throw-in coming up for American Fork. Or excuse me, for Farmington.
Yet again, another team switching keepers at halftime with Barrera getting switched with Jackson Pay, both seniors, and so this would both be their last game.
We had the pleasure of seeing Maddox Pay earlier in the year as well. Did a good job coming off his line, being a sweeper keeper for this American Fork side.
Yeah, notably in that game versus Westlake, he was locked down in that game and made plenty of saves to keep him in that one.
Hellquist cuts back, and now it'll go all the way back to McIntosh. McIntosh will look to boot one over the top towards Ashby. Ashby giving chase. Tries to keep it in and does not as the flag comes up over on the far side. Throw-in coming up here for American Fork as they lead it. Larson, the goal scorer, checking back in. Heading out to the bench for a breather will be Hudson Rios for American Fork. Ball played in. Ashby giving chase. Tracks it down. Trying to turn. Nicely defended there by Jaden Brown. A foul called and a free kick coming up here for Farmington. Who else but Toby Grant heading to the far side to take. Grant will float one in. Headed away by Harley. Judd gets a header on it. Cut out by Caden Pay. Now lands at Toby Grant. Grant cuts back. Grant. Oh, and a nice opportunity there. It looks like Foster was the one coming in with the late run, and it was going straight to Foster, but American Fork does good to poke it away. Here comes Connect. Connect now using his speed to get around Judd. Connect. Cuts it back. Puts it in. Pay with the shot. Larson now with the shots. Takes another deflection. Cleared away.
Both teams going back and forth right now with Connect and Toby Grant.
Lewis Connect goes to ground and a foul called. Free kick coming up here for the American Fork Cavemen.
Yeah, going back to that play by Toby Grant. Beat his defender. Played a lovely ball into the box that was inches away from reaching Josh Foster. And then Lewis Connect coming the other way on a breakaway, trying to find his teammate who had his shot blocked. And American Fork now have a free kick here.
Two standing over the ball to take. It looks like one is Ben Hess, and the other was Miller Hall. Hall will float one in. Goes near post. Larson is there and can't redirect it on frame.
Yeah, great ball there to find Larson running in at that front post. Larson just couldn't flick it on to goal.
Here comes Janke. Plays back to Grant. So Grant plays it back to Judd. Judd across to McIntosh. McIntosh now up the sideline to Hellquist. Hellquist here on the near side. Looks to play it up to Janke. Does. Janke brings it in. And now it's Harley in possession. Quickly won back by Farmington. Here comes Jackson Cheney. Given away. Larson wins it back. The goal scorer comes through. Tries to poke one through in the direction of Connect. But too much. As that one will sail out of bounds and out for the goal kick. Substitution getting ready to come on for the Cavemen. It'll be Ben Harley heading to the bench for a breather. Looks like Jaden Brown will be tucking in over here on the near side. Checking into the match will be Preston Osborne.
Looks like a more attack-minded formation they got going.
Now here comes Burrup. Burrup back to Hellquist. Hellquist does a good job to get around Brown. Brown giving chase. Nettesheim comes across, wins it back for American Fork. Nice cut in by Brown. Brown will go into the central forward, Dimitri Larson. Larson with time and space will carry, and he'll settle it back for Hess. Hess looking to play back into Larson. Larson carrying the goal scorer. Dimitri Larson goes out wide to Gavin Nash. Nash plays it through, looking for Pay. Caden Pay off his head. And now Lewis connects. Comes out of nowhere to win that one back. Here comes Connect up the sideline. Connect crosses it in, goes back post, cleared away by Farmington. And Cole Janke now boots this one out. Thomas doesn't get the best connection on it. Quickly went back by Farmington. Ball out wide to Bull. Nate Bull brings it up. Thomas comes across, makes a tackle, and pokes that one away.
Yeah, great tackle by Thomas right there to shut down that Farmington attack.
Substitution getting ready to come on for the Phoenix. As heading to the bench will be Austin Judd. Checking in will be Mac Jensen. Or excuse me, Nate Bull has checked out. Mac Jensen back into the pitch. The cross comes in, looking for our post. And now he goes out for the corner kick. Farmington here with an opportunity. The cross comes in, looking back post. The header takes a deflection and cleared away. Only to find Janke. Janke now with the shot from distance. That goes over the bar. Farmington want the deflection as the official now calls it a goal kick. Toby Grant.
Not a good look.
Late to get up. Now back on his feet. Maybe he just needed a little break. He's been everywhere tonight for Farmington.
Last thing Farmington need is another player to go out with an injury.
Ball booted away by Ben Hess. And that ball cleared away by the American Fork Cavemen. We'll have a throw coming up for Farmington. Austin Judd over on the far side to take. Ashby tries to flick it through. And ball booted away by Hess. Takes a awkward bounce right in front of Thomas. Thomas does a good job to keep it in. Miller Hall comes across and boots this one away. Harley. Ball floated over the top. It's Ben Hess who comes across. Last off of Hess. Chase Ashby over on the far side to throw it in. Cheney to Ashby. Ashby crosses it in. Looking for Foster, and it skims in front of Maddox Pay's box. And he goes out of bounds and out for the goal kick.
A great look right there by Ashby to try to find the running Foster into the box and just couldn't connect with Foster.
Goal kick as this ball is booted away. Nice. Hellquist gets his head on it. And a free kick, a foul called here against Connect. And the Farmington fans now on their feet. Only one on the wall here for Maddox Pay. And it'll be Connect. Standing over it to take will be Toby Grant. Grant will boot this one in. Goes back towards the top of the 18. It's going to be Ashby who's there. Brought down by Foster. Foster now trying to turn back. Larson pokes it away. Still Foster on the ball. Foster now has a chance to cross it in. Does. Goes back post. Cheney is there. Over Cheney. And comes out the other end. Janke will cross it in. Goes back post. Punched away by Pay. And a collision between Pay and Ashby.
Yeah, Pay just took that hit and got right back up. Not phased at all.
Chase Ashby slow to get back on his feet, but good to see him back up now. And we have confirmation that, unfortunately, Ben Wright will not be able to return to this one for the Farmington Phoenix. Again, a huge loss for Farmington.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate for him. He had that goal versus Pleasant Grove. It was a wonderful goal against the Vikings in the semifinals, and got to think that he was coming into this one hoping to get another one. And early in the first half, he went down, and his shoulder doesn't seem to be doing okay.
Ball flicked through. McIntosh. Now it's Larson who brings it down. Larson turns. Tries to get it back out to connect. Hellquist is there, as Hellquist will boot this one away. Now it lands at Burrup. Burrup goes down right in front of the Farmington student section, and they're not happy. They thought that should have been a foul.
Yeah, tensions just keep rising higher and higher the more hits people take.
Nicely done there by Harley to boot this one away. Throwing coming up now for the Farmington Phoenix. It'll be Hellquist here on the near side to throw it in. Hellquist looking to get it out, and does. Burrup brings it in. Burrup to Hellquist. Hellquist taking it up the sideline, cuts inside now, leaves it for Cheney. Cheney back to Hellquist. Nice flick on there by Hellquist. The cross comes in, back post. Ashby was there, goes over Ashby. Out the other end now. Here, Farmington still on the attack. Ashby taking a shot off of Ben Hess. And a corner kick coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix, and a big opportunity with the corner.
Yeah, Colson, Hellquist, and Jackson Cheney linking up on that left side. A nice little 1-2, and then Ashby trying to get a shot off and deflects it out for a corner.
The cross comes in, goes back post. The header, nicely saved there by Maddox Pay. Ball takes a bounce, now landing at Judd and Connect. Connect takes a touch. Hellquist comes across, makes a tackle, and now Hellquist back in possession. Hellquist tries to poke it through. Miller Hall late. A foul called. And we'll have a stoppage in play here as Miller Hall goes into the book. And another yellow card in this 6A championship game.
Yeah, I've lost count of how many yellow cards there are in this game.
It's been a physical battle so far. And there, Miller Hall goes into the book. He'll have to come out. Checking in will be, was it Osborne that checked in? Rios checking in. Toby Grant standing over the ball to take. Grant will float one in, looking back post. Flicked through by Foster in front of goal and booted away by Ben Hess. Now it lands at Connect. Connect brings it in. Connect goes into the middle for the goal scorer, Larson. Larson pokes it through for Harley. Harley can't get a touch on it. And now here comes Gavin Nash, who puts it into a dangerous position. And across to boot it away is Nedesheim. Up the sideline, it's Sanchez. That ball out of bounds and out. Thrown coming up here for American Fork. Rios back off to the bench. Miller Hall checking back in for the Cavemen. Here comes Hall. Hall goes out wide to Connect. Connect cuts inside. One back by Janke. Connect trying to take Janke off the ball. And a Connect and Janke get tangled up, but we play on. Advantage played here as Farmington in possession. Ball played over the top, looking for Foster. Foster giving chase. Nash comes across. Nash with a defensive effort. Now Foster with the deflection. Throw-in coming up here for American Fork.
Yeah, Foster's just not giving up on that left wing right there and is working very hard to try to get his team back in this game.
Ball played in. And that one will come off of the goal scorer, Dimitri Larson. Throw-in coming up. Taken quickly by Helquist into Toby Grant. Grant will now take it from distance, and it'll just flow through safely out the other end. Goal kick coming up here for the American Fork Cavemen. Ball put away by Maddox Pay. Lands at Foster. Foster gets around Larson. Pokes it through to Burrup. Burrup now back to Janke. Janke looking out wide for Ashby. Nicely defended there by Mason Jolly. Nathan Sanchez goes to ground. Janke in possession. A foul called. And a free kick coming up here for American Fork. Taken quickly. Harley. Harley will now boot this one up. And Helquist will just let this one roll through and out. Throw in coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. McIntosh boots this one away. Looking for Burrup. Now it's Connect. Connect trying to get around his defenders and does. Ball poked through, looking for Sanchez, who's running off it. Takes a deflection and lands at Jackson Bynan. Now here comes Farmington looking to turn the other way. Ball floated over the top. Nettesheim is there. Giving chase is Cheney and Larson, the goal scorer. Larson does a good job to keep possession. Larson now up the sideline. Larson comes in, and Helquist makes the challenge as that ball goes out of bounds. And now a corner kick coming up here for American Fork.
Yeah, nice run right there by Dimitri Larson. The shoulder-to-shoulder challenge with the defender and beat him, but couldn't really do much after that as his cross got deflected out of bounds.
Corner kick coming up here for the Cavemen. Ball whipped in. Going back post. Takes a deflection and goes over the bar and out.
Round two.
Another corner kick coming up here for American Fork. A goal at this stage for the Cavemen would really give them the 2-goal confidence that they need to see this one through, but a goal for Farmington gets this one back on level terms. Jolly trying to win it back, booted away. Cheney now comes with it. Cheney looking for Ashby. Now it's Nettesheim to Harley. Harley goes out to the near side for Connect. Connect taking it into the box. Connect at the top of the 18. Takes a shot. Nicely defended there by Helquist. Nettesheim brings it down. Jolly tries to poke it through. Ashby now up the sideline. Ashby plays it through to Burrup. Burrup now in behind. Maddox Pay off his line. And Pay collects well.
Yeah, the Farmington Phoenix doing exactly what I said they needed to do. Catch the outside backs up high and beat them with your speed. And they did exactly that and almost got themselves a goal. But great goalkeeping by Maddox Pay to come off his line and shut down that 1v1.
Helquist will boot this one away. Jensen trying to bring it down. Harley was trying to poke it through to Sanchez. One back by the Phoenix. Ashby. And a foul called. A whistle on Harley for the late challenge. And a free kick coming up here for Farmington. $17-10 left to go here in the second half in the 6A championship game. The American Fork Cavemen lead it 1-0 against the Farmington Phoenix. Substitution for American Fork as Ben Harley heads to the bench. Checking in is Hudson Rios.
Yeah, just giving Ben Harley a quick breather to give it a second of him to talk to his coach and calm down.
Free kick coming up here for the Farmington Phoenix. Standing over it to take is number 10, Toby Grant. Grant with one arm in the air, floats one in, goes near post, or excuse me, goes top of the 18, and now booted away by American Fork. Toby Grant does a good job to win it back quickly. Grant cuts up. Grant against Connect. Connect winning out that battle. Janky now goes to ground and a foul called. Free kick coming up for the Farmington Phoenix. It's called Janky there. Concedes the foul. Miller Hall. Miller Hall taking it from distance, just wide. And it'll say that it came off of Jackson Bynum, who makes the save. And that ball goes out of bounds and out for the corner kick.
Yeah, great shot right there by Miller Hall to connect with the outside the box, almost finding that bottom corner, but Jackson Bynum got a touch on that. That's a great save.
Substitutions coming up here as Hudson Rios heading back out to the bench. In will be Ben Harley for the American Fork Cavemen. The cross comes in, goes back post, just skims over everybody as it comes out the other end. Still American Fork ball in possession in the attacking third. Throw in here on the near side for American Fork. Corner kick coming up here for American Fork on the near side. It's going to be Lewis Connect to take. Connect plays it in, takes the short option, back to Connect. Connect now into the box. Harley taking a shot, takes the deflection. Connect puts it in, and Lewis Connect makes it two. But the offside flag's raised. It will not count. Ball played out quickly. Burrup on the other end. Burrup now trying to get Farmington back in this one. The chaos, the madness that just happened. Burrup on the other end. Farmington now with possession. Ashby. Carson, what is going on?
I have no idea, but that was great sweet sequence right there by American Fork. After the offsides called it, all the defenders made sure to track back right away and did not get caught up. Great defending by American Fork right there. I thought this game was 2-0.
Thought it was 2-0, then it quickly came back the other end. We thought it was about to be a tie game, and then American Fork defense coming back. Toby Grant plays it into the box. Takes a deflection. Ashby's there, gets the header on it. Poke through, and then Maddox Pay off his line reads it well.
Yeah, Maddox Pay, the substitute goalkeeper, having himself a pretty good half. But he's going to take his time and boot this away.
Takes a bounce. Connect, tries to poke it through, comes off of Helquist. Helquist wins it back. Here comes Cheney. Cheney will play it up. Nice step there from Nettesheim. Nettesheim will boot this one away. Another header there, this time Miller Hall. Cheney will be called for the foul. And Lewis Connect down behind the play. Good to see Lewis Connect back on his feet now after the trainers having to come take a look at the top goal scorer for the American Fork Cavemen as he gingerly walks back to the sideline. He'll have to come off momentarily. Subbing in for Lewis Connect will be Caden Pay. And now a free kick coming up for American Fork. Ben Hess will take it. Official still trying to make sure everything's in order. Now it is. Ball's down. Ben Hess will kick it away. 13 minutes left to go here in the second. Ball floated in, flicked through, takes a deflection, and the ball comes out the other end. Helquist trying to get it out. The shot takes a deflection, and now booted away by the Farmington Phoenix. Miller Hall wins it back in the middle of the park. Now it's Ashby. Ashby plays it up. Burrup running off of it. Burrup now into the box. Paddock off his line. And Maddox Pay and Burrup with an ugly collision there.
Maddox Pay putting his body on the line once again. Stopping that counter from Farmington. But he has stayed down alongside his Burrup.
And now we'll have a stoppage in play here as both players remain down after that collision. Trainers now being waved on. We'll take a step away here on the Rewind Sports Network.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy to access the equity in your home with no fees or closing costs.
Simply complete an application on your phone or computer and select the low-rate option you prefer.
And then sit back and enjoy the peace of mind that comes from knowing you have a low-rate line of credit. Ready for whatever life throws at you.
To learn more or start your application, visit uccu.com or stop by any branch.
If you want to avoid your AC breaking down this summer, the best thing you can do is stay on top of your AC's annual maintenance. But if you do find yourself with an air conditioner blowing hot air, Any Hour Services technicians service all brands, and they can usually get to you pretty quick. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. Whether you need maintenance, repair, or replacement, the technicians at Any Hour Services can help you keep your home comfortable all summer long. Call Any Hour Services or schedule online at anyhour.com. No one helps more homeowners than Any Hour Services.
Well, and I welcome you back into America First Field after the trainers stepped on to take a look at both players. Jack Burrup back on his feet. Looks like he'll be ready to partake in this one again. Maddox Pay, however, subbed off. Sebastian Barreda back in for the Cavemen. Ball back in play. And a foul. Free kick coming up for American Fork, for Farmington. $11:50 left to go. Jensen will put this one back post. Ashby trying to flick it back in with the header, but it goes over and out for the goal kick.
Ashby couldn't be more open than that and couldn't get a head on the ball to play it back in or put it on goal, and that ball just flew out of bounds. And American Fork retained possession on this goal kick.
Goal kick coming up here. Cavemen. And ball booted away by Ben Hess. Time running out here at America First Field. Only 11 minutes left. American Fork leads it 1-0. Farmington have had some good chances, but still seems like something's not clicking in the final third. And they need a goal, and they need it quick. Ashby is checking in. Toby Grant checking back in. Cole Janke checking back in for Farmington. 3 players who can make a difference in the attack. Throw in. Sanchez tried to cut it off. Now ball booted up. Gavin Nash giving chase. All the way back to Sebastian Barreda, and Barreda will collect. Barreda waving his team forward. Time is on their side. Ball booted away by Barreda. Takes a bounce. Caden Payne now trying to track it down. Brought down by Harley. Harley gets obstructed by the ref. Ball given away. Toby Grant takes a touch. Ben Hess is there. Boots this one out. And that one was a late challenge there by Toby Grant. And a late whistle as well. But it will be a foul called here against Farmington.
Farmington just putting in dangerous tackles left and right now. Do not like the way this game is heading with the way that the players on Farmington are just being dangerous, and I hope no one else gets hurt. We already had Ben Wright go out with a shoulder injury. We do not need any more injuries in this game.
Here's the whistle as ball gets back into play. Ben Hess will boot this one away. Hess puts a foot through it. Ball comes here on the near side for Hellquist. Ball now with Foster. Nash comes across, wins it back. Here comes Harley. Harley taking it back. Harley will go all the way back to Barreda. Barreda will now boot this one away. 9 minutes is all that's left. Are we 9 minutes away from American Fork ending the drought and winning number 3? Or do we have another trick up the sleeve here in the championship game? Farmington now on the attack. Tries to play it through. Barreda off his line. Ashby was giving chase, and Barreda is able to clear it well.
Yeah, quick thinking right there by Barreda. Look, he hesitated for a second if he wanted the ball to roll in his box, but Chase Ashby was chasing that down and opted to just kick it out of bounds.
That ball out of bounds over on the far side is Toby Grant in possession here for Farmington. Toby Grant begging for options, looking for options, plays it to Cheney, and Ben Hess comes across with the header. Out of bounds and out. We'll have a corner kick coming up here for Farmington. Set piece opportunity here for the number 1 in the RPI. One hand up from Cheney. The cross comes in. Looking back post in front. Ashby gets a header on it. Takes a deflection. Judd tries to put it back. And booted away by Ben Hess. That ball will roll through all the way out for the Farmington throw. McIntosh to throw it in. He'll leave it for Bull. Judd will go all the way back to Bynan. Bynan in possession. Plays it up. Looking for Ashby. Ashby does a good job to bring it down. Ashby trying to turn. Goes out wide to Janke. Cole Janke now taking on 1. Janke playing it in. Foster wasn't expecting it. Nicely defended by American Fork. The cross comes in by Bull. Toby Grant is there. Flicks it through with his head. Pay clears it away. Now it's Hellquist against Connect. All the way back to Judd. Here comes the all-out parade attack from the Farmington Phoenix as they need a goal to extend this one. They need 2 to take a lead. Mac Jensen. Jensen will float one in, looking towards Foster and headed away by Nash. Lands at Ashby. Ashby can't get around Gavin Nash. And Nash does a great job there defensively. Lewis Connect comes across. That ball goes out of bounds and out. It'll be American Fork throw-in. Substitution coming up for the Cavemen as well. Jaden Brown checking in. Dimitri Larson, the goal scorer, also checking in. Heading out to the bench will be Nathan Sanchez and Caden Pay. Gavin Nash will throw it in. Nash looking towards Larson. Larson now, ball given away. McIntosh wins it back. Lewis Connect trying to come across, win it. Now ball goes up the sideline to Janke. Janke trying to keep that one in bounds and does, but it'll just be given away by the Farmington Phoenix. Janke battling out in the corner. A foul called. And a free kick coming up for American Fork. Ben Hess standing over it to take. Hess will boot this one away. Brown brings it in. Brown bringing it down. Brown takes a touch. And now ball coming to Foster. Foster to Hellquist. Hellquist does a good job to get around Osborne. Now back out to Foster. Foster taking it in. Up the sideline. Takes a couple of deflections. Bareda off his line, and Bareda collects well. Sebastian Bareda reads it. And now American Fork here can watch the time tick away. Ball booted away. It's going to be McIntosh coming across. Hellquist does a good job to keep possession. Hellquist gets around one. Hellquist gets around two. Hellquist pokes it away. And now Miller Hall brings it down. Ashby winning it back. Cheney will go back to Mac Jensen. Jensen boots one over the top looking for Cole Janke. And Nate Bowles over there keeps it in bounds. Janke now trying to win it back. Judd plays it out to Bull. Bull cuts inside. Bull can't get around Miller Hall. As Hall makes a great challenge. Somehow Farmington keep possession. The cross comes in. Foster with the header, and it's safely into the hands of Sebastian Bareda, as again the Cavemen can just watch the clock tick away. Judd will boot this one away. Takes a bounce. Foster trying to win it. Nash is there. Lands at Ashby. Here comes the Phoenix. Ashby now into the box. Ashby around one. Ashby around two. Out to Foster. Foster cuts it back. Supports himself with Jensen. Now it's Cheney. Gavin Nash still down after the play. Now the ball will go out of bounds and out. We'll have a stoppage here. No sign yet to stop the clock. And now it comes. 2:41 left to go here in the second half. American Fork leads it.
Feels like after every play, a player is down, whether it's 1, 2, or 3, and it's just so hard to keep track of all the events.
The official now making sure everything's back in order, as we'll have a whistle and ball back in play. Out of bounds. And it's going the other way. Farmington give away possession. Thomas will throw it in. And now we're heading over as the clock continues to roll here at America First Field. Cheney. Janke does a good job to keep it in. Nicely booted away by Ben Hess. Bynan lets it bounce. Bynan will boot this one up. Foster brings it in. Heavy touch. Osborne wins it. Foster pokes it away. Ashby comes across. Foster trying to keep possession. Foster does. Plays it to Burrup. Burrup now into Burrup. Off his line is Barreda, and Barreda boots this one away. Sebastian Barreda, the sweeper keeper.
Yeah, Barreda once again coming off his line and coming at clutch in another 1v1 situation and just booting that out of bounds. The clock is ticking down. Farmington only have under a minute 30 to get a goal. Otherwise, the Cavemen will be crowned champions of 6A.
Miller Hall gets a header on it, out of bounds and out. Time continues to dwindle here at AFF. Shot from distance from Toby Grant, can't put it on frame. And unfortunate there. Barreda to Hess. Hess will take his time. The American Fork faithful on their feet. They're cheering, they're loud because they can feel it. The bench is on their feet. They can feel it. Lewis Connect boots this one over and out. Bynum will have to track it down and play it in quickly. 29 seconds left. Bynum boots this one up. Cheney trying to flick it through. The goal scorer with a deflection. Osborne will just boot this one up and away. Bynum will bring it in. 15 seconds. Bynum has to get rid of it. Foster. Osborne again will just boot this one away. And that should do it. That will do it. For the first time since 1984, American Fork have done it. Number 3 for the Cavemen, as American Fork are your 6A state champions.
Yeah, what a game by American Fork. Stepped up their play in this game after winning in PKs versus Bingham, and came into this one getting a goal really early in the game from Dimitri Larson. You know, this is why we love the beautiful game, though. Just simple moments like that from Dimitri Larson. Just tap it in the goal, and that's what can win you a game at any moment.
40 years. The drought is over. 40 years since the last title for the Cavemen boys soccer team. And that drought comes to an end because the American Fork Cavemen leave America First Fields as 6A state champions.
Wow. 40 years is a very long time, and I feel like the Cavemen have had pretty good teams like in the last couple years as well. Forgetting about last year, 8-9, and then coming to this year, 50-2 overall record.
16-2 now.
Wow, what a turnaround from the Cavemen.
Gotta give a shout out to those Farmington Phoenix because they also had an incredible year. To come so close, to come to this field and have a chance to fight for your first ever title and come up short is absolutely devastating, absolutely heartbreaking. But nonetheless, they got to keep their heads high because it has been a great year for Farmington.
Yeah, and Farmington hasn't been a school for more than like 10 years yet. This is impressive for a newer school to just come around and get themselves to the final, and second place is nothing to cry about, you know. Soccer's a hard sport, and I'm been really impressed with Farmington this season, and you know, they have some guys returning next season. It's not like they're losing their full team, and hopefully maybe they'll make it back here and win next year. But the Cavemen came to this game and took advantage, and they are the champions.
Real quick, we'll take you to the trophy presentations before we sign off for the final time of the 2023-2024 school year. Handshakes, sportsmanship first from both sides. As here they meet towards the middle of the park. Both sides had a fun game. They played a fun game. It was competitive till the very, very end. Farmington had a lot of good opportunities, but at the end could not find the back of the net. And this is also the first game of the day where the lower seed finds the win. In 4A, it was the number 2 over the number 4. In 5A, it was the number 1 over the number 7. And now the number 2 finds a win over number 1. American Fork now heading over to their visiting fans as we get ready for the trophy presentations here at America First Field. Farmington was heading back towards the bench area. Now they're making them come back here as we'll have the second place trophy presentation first. And again, great season for the Farmington Phoenix. They'll settle for bronze here in 2024. And here it is. For the first time since 1984, the 40-year drought is over. The school fight song from the American Fork boys soccer team, the trophy, and American Fork are your 6A state champions. Carson, what a week, what a day. And while I love seeing teams being crowned, it breaks my heart because, as I mentioned, we are done for the 2023-2024 school year, and we have no more high school soccer until the fall.
Yeah, it could be a lot worse, but, for these seniors that playing, they got to move on from high school now, and it does suck. It's fun being able to watch high school soccer, and I wish I could commentate and help out every week, but good things come to an end, but they always come back.
That's going to do it for us here on the Rewind Sports Network on KSLSports.com. As always, presented by Heidemann & Associates. I'm Alex Napoles. He's Carson Lance. And big shout out to Doug on the camera. And from the entire Rewind Sports family, we thank you for watching. We've had a great year. We've had so much fun. We're signing off for the final time of this school year. We'll be back in the fall to bring you all the action of the 2024-2025 school year. And a big shout out to our guy, Dusty Lister, who remains strong. And we hope he is back with us here in the booth at the start of the 2024 school year. Dusty, we love you. Stay strong.